So let's start with saying we know that child well-being matters. And we know so well that early childhood development is now included in the Sustainable Development Goals, where the proportion of children under 5 who are in track in well-being and the variety of dimension is a key aim. However, there are still many inequalities in child well-being across and within world regions, so it's important that more data is collected to try to understand the prevalence and also how can we improve and reduce them. Now, why it's important to promote child well-being? So let me make the economic argument. So this is a graph adapted from a chapter that I wrote almost 10 years ago with James Heckman called The Economics of Child Wellbeing in the Handbook of Child Wellbeing, so it seems quite suitable. And economists have long recognized, following other disciplines, that child well-being is multidimensional, encompassing things like cognitive, socio-emotional, physical, and mental health, different forms of well-being. And the model shows that child well-being, you see, evolves over the life cycle, and then it's affected by what economists called investment by parents, so private ones or public ones by the state. And investments both have an influence on child well-being, but also react to different forms of child well-being. And they can be impacted at different determinants, which can include different types of taxes and various policies. Now, the economic case states that it's a good investment to improve child well-being because it does provide a stream of returns over the life cycle across multiple dimensions, which are listed at the bottom against one initial cost. Now, how do economists think about child well-being more in detail? So zoom in on each of these, if you like, horizontal set of circles. So I've got quite a few questions here, but I've written up their meaning on the right. So believe me if I tell you that the way economists think is like parents being the decision maker, which is true, especially when the children are young and then children can decide by themselves. And usually economists think of people maximizing utility, just trying, to be as happy as they can, given the resources they have. And parents, in the simplest model we can think about, derive utility from their own consumption and the well-being of the child. They can't choose directly the well-being of the child, they can choose this X, which is investment. So how much money they can spend, how much time they can spend. And when they do this, they face constraints. So there is a specific, what we call the child well-being production function, which links inputs such as parental investment to the output, which is child well-being, conditional on how much parents know. There is a budget constraint. Parents can only spend as much as they earn or the assets they've accumulated. And there is also, though it's not shown here, a time constraint. You only have this number of hours in the day. Now you can solve the model, and the model will show you what is the optimal level of investment to the parents. So what is optimally for the parents to invest in time and money and other resources. And you can see that this is quite handy to think about different policies, because this optimal level is a function of the child well-being itself by the input prices P, by the assets A and income. There could be a shock, conditional on the information that parents have and also the way they think various investments are productive. So this is quite useful to think in a very structured way about different constraints: money, time, technology, information. And these are all things we can actually improve by using various policies. So how this framework is useful, because it has been shown in here. I'm just listing 2 reviews. So 2 recent reviews showing that policy relaxing these constraints can improve child well-being. Example, cash transfer to relieve financial constraint, parental leave to relax time constraints, providing directly inputs to relax technological constraints. And a lot of the programs that especially ones have started, such as home visiting, just provide information, because many parents just, they don't know. It's not that they don't care. Now, in best case scenarios, this program has been shown to have high returns, but there is a lot of heterogeneity, lots of variations across countries, which is why country-specific evidence is really important. And it's very dangerous sometimes to extrapolate from one country to another, as I've seen in the case of the UK. Now, These new longitudinal data will be really important on one hand to track child well-being, but also to estimate these kind of models and evaluate different policies, and especially which one is more effective at which time points, so that we can understand the cost effectiveness of interventions in different periods.